dear students, welcome to a special course on research proposals. I'm Dr. Pervez Ahmed. Today we will discuss about the second part of the research proposal, that is how to write research proposals. So before to proceed to today's topic, that how to write a research proposal, first of all we should have a brief definition of the research proposals. As we have discussed in the last topic, in the last lectures, that is, a research proposal is intended to convince others that you have a worthwhile research project and that you have the competence and the work plan to complete it. So generally, a research proposals should contain all the key element involved in the research process and include sufficient information for the readers to evaluate the proposed study. So regardless of your research area and the methodology you choose, all the research proposal must address the following question. That is, what do you plan to accomplish, why you want to do it, and how you are going to do it. So let's come toward the first thing, that is how to write a research proposal. So the proposal should have sufficient information to convince your readers that you have an important research idea, that you have a good grasp of the relevant literature and the major issues, and that your methodology is sound. So for that, first of all, you should have a good titles. It's mean that it should be concise and descriptive. I mean, it should be attractive in some sense to attract the audience, to convince the audience, or to convince the readers. Often a title or stated in term of a functional relationship, because such a titles clearly indicates the independent and dependent variables. However, if possible, think of an informative but catchy title. An effective title not only affects the reader's interest but also proposes him or favorably toward the proposals. Then after the title, you should you should have a good abstract, that is an abstract. It's basically a brief summary of approximately 300 words. It should include the research questions, the rationales for the study, the hypothesis of any, the method, and the main finding. So after that, you mainly have in your research proposal the introduction part. So in introductions, the main purpose of the introduction is to provide the necessary background or the context for your research problems. That is, how to frame the research problem is perhaps the biggest problem and the proposal writing. So, however, trying to place your research question in the context of either a current hot area or an older area that remains viable. Secondly, you need to provide a brief but appropriate historical backup. Thirdly, provide the contemporary context in which your proposed research questions occupy the central stage. Finally, identify the key players and refer to the most relevant and representative publications, and try to paint your research questions and broad brushes, and at the same time bring out its significance. And number third, while you're writing and your research proposals, after being you went through your title, then you devise your abstract, and then you write in the introduction. So the introduction generally covered the following element, that is, state the research problems, which is often referred to as the purpose of the study. Then provide the context and set the stage for your research questions in such a way as to show its necessity and importance. Then present the rationales of your proposed study and clearly indicate why it is worth doing. Then briefly describe the major issues and sub-problems to be addressed by your research. Then identify the key independent and dependent variables of your experiments. Alternatively, specify the phenomenon you want to study. Then state your hypothesis or theory of any. For exploratory or phenomenological research, you may not have any hypothesis. So please do not confuse the hypothesis with a statistical null hypothesis. Set the delimitations or boundaries of your research, of your proposed research, in order to provide a clear focus. provide definitions of key concept. This should be the optional, so, and it will somehow make it easier for the funder to identify you among the various people who have provided for the funding or for studies. Then to proceed further, you have to have a good literature review. That is, most professors prefer as separate sections. But particularly for the literature review, so which allows a more thorough review of the literature. The literature review serves several important functions. That is, ensure that you are not inventing the wheel. Give credit to those who have laid the groundwork for your research. Demonstrate your knowledge of the research problems. Demonstrate your understanding of the theoretical and research issues related to your research questions. Shows your ability to critically evaluate relevant literature and informations. Indicate your ability to integrate and synthesize the existing literature. Provide new theoretical insight, or develop a new model as a conceptual framework for your research. Convince your reader that your proposed research will make a significant and statistical contributions to the literature, that is, resolving in important theoretical issues or filling major gap in the literatures. Then you come toward the matters. The matter section is very important because it's telling your research committee how you plan to tackle your research problems. It will provide your work plan and describe the activities necessary for the completion of your research project. The guiding principle for writing the matter section is that it contains sufficient information for the reader to determine whether methodology is sound. Furthermore, since there are well established and widely accepted canons and the qualitative analysis, your method section needs to be more elaborate than what is required for the traditional quantitative research. More importantly, the data collection process and qualitative research has a far greater impact on the research as compared to the quantitative research. For quantitative studies, the matter sections typically consist of the following sections, that is, design, is a questionnaire study or a laboratory experiments. What kind of design do you choose? Then subject or participants, that is, who will take part in your study, and what kind of sampling procedures do you use? Then instruments, that is, what kind of measuring instrument or the questionnaire do you use? What do you choose them? Sorry, why do you choose them? Or are they valid or reliable? Then you come to the procedures. That is, you ask that how do you plan to carry out your study? What activities are involved and how long does it takes? um, when you come to the research, so obviously you do not have research at the proposal stage. However, you need to have some idea about what kind of data you will collecting and what statistical procedure will be used in order to answer your research questions or test your hypothesis. Then you have discussions, and be remember it's important to convince your reader of the potential impact of your research, of your proposed research. You need to communicate a sense of enthusiasm and confidence without exaggerating the merit of your proposal. That is why you also need proposal. So two errors as humans. So normally we have some common mistake in the proposal writing. The first that normally we have is failure to provide the proper context to frame the research questions. Then failures to delimitate the boundary condition for your research. Failure to cite landmark studies. Failure to accurately present the theoretical and empirical contributions by other researchers. Failure to stay focused on the research questions. Failure to develop a current and persuasive argument for the research, for the proposed research. Too much details on minor issues but not enough detail on major issues. Too much rambling, going all over the map without a clear sense of direction. The best proposal move forward with ease and grace like a seamless river. Too many citation labs and inaccurate references, too long or too short. So these are the key shortcoming. You can say that the mistake in writing a proposal. So that's all we have for how to write a research proposals. So and coming lecture we will have some further details on how you should treat or how you should write your research proposal. So for timing, I mean that's enough. See you next lecture very soon. Till then, bye bye.